All right, we are recording. First up, welcome to this call. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and listen. We host these calls generally about once a month. We're doing a second one in December because it just is an incredible opportunity and time of year to be jumping on board with this. And we have a ton of women that just have decided to start coaching for the new year, but really these last couple of weeks is such a good time to wrap your mindset around if this is for you and making this decision to start a business in January, which is really, really exciting. I want to tell you that if you've been invited to this call, it's really for a reason. We in the Sisterhood really talk about choosing the women you want to work with and inviting the women that you see something in, inviting women that you think are like-minded, that you think would be successful. And I know I can speak for every other coach on our team, do not want to onboard women to this business that I don't think would be successful. So if you are on this call, it really is because someone sees something in you. And I hope that maybe you're even a little bit flattered by that, because we really take pride in building a big, beautiful team of good people. And we always say good people know good people. And that's why the Sisterhood has found really great success in the past couple of years. We are one of the fastest growing teams in Beachbody right now, which is super, super exciting. And I want to let you know that if this is an opportunity that you are considering, that you are in extremely good hands and that we take the mentorship of our new coaches really, really seriously. This call is a little bit different. We wanted to give you more of a training. Sometimes we do these calls and we just share our stories and talk about what coaching has done for us. But because of the new year and because there's a brand new program launching with Beachbody right now, we wanted to give you a little bit more of a training, kind of like a coaching 101. Like if you were to decide you want to do this and take this opportunity and start it, what would that look like and what would you have to do and how does it work? So we've really divided it into 5 sort of areas, and there's going to be 5 of us speaking tonight. I am going to do the first sort of section, which I really believe is the most important part of becoming a coach and being a good coach, and that is to live healthier and happier. I started these programs 3 years ago, and I will tell you that this coaching has forced me to be the healthiest and happiest person I've ever known myself to be. Sometimes I actually have a hard time taking away the stories I tell myself in my head. But if I look in the mirror, I cannot believe the accountability that coaching has given me. So, what does it look like to be a coach and how do you live healthier and happier? It's really the accountability of sharing your journey. When you decide to be a coach and start to share your journey, a higher sense of accountability sort of comes over you. And especially as you start to have women join you to do these programs with you, they look to you for the motivation and for the encouragement. So on the days when you feel like, oh, I just don't want to do it, or on the, weekends when you overindulge, the Monday after, like there is a fire like you will never know before to get back on track and to always be focusing on your journey. The very most important thing that you can do as a coach is focus on you, dive into these programs, dive into the nutrition side of it. It doesn't mean being perfect. You don't have to give up wine and treats and all the things. You need to find a beautiful space of balance in your life and share that with the world. That for me has been a 3-year journey that I'm still on. I go through waves of following these programs 100% and then waves of lax nutrition, but all of that and being authentic in the way that I share that really truly is my journey. I think my superpower is treating every Monday like the Monday. And I think that that is what coaching really is about. It forces you to take your personal health and wellness to a different level. In terms of, let's say you decided to start coaching and like today, what would that look like for you in terms of living healthier and happier? I think that it's a really amazing opportunity to use the Beachbody On Demand system, this platform that we use to share with our clients, and start diving into it. So start looking at the nutrition plans, looking at the different programs. Some of you guys might have been Beachbody clients for a while. Some of you might be brand new. So kind of going at it with a different lens and and thinking like, okay, if I was a coach, how could I share these differently? How could I recommend these things differently? So, we have Control Freak starting in January. And for people that are just sorry, my dog's freaking out. For people that are just deciding to start coaching now, that really looks like wrapping their head around the 9-week Control Freak program and committing to it. And that's really exciting, but also taking these 2 weeks to look at some of the materials. So kind of getting a heads up and a head start on the new year, on your journey, your commitment, the program, and just like diving into Beachbody On Demand in general. So that's kind of a little bit about living happier and healthier. I'm going to share it, send it to Milin, who's going to talk about social media a little bit.
Okay, thanks, Courtney. Hey guys, my name is Milan. I've been a coach for about a year and 4 months now. Never thought I was going to coach, but fell in love with the programs and decided to do it. And it has been an amazing ride. So I'm going to talk to you about getting started with social media. And I want you to show me, like, show of hands, or put in the chat if you're not on video, who is worried about the social media part of coaching? Like, who's scared to post a workout video, has no idea how to use Instagram, doesn't have any followers, like, who's gonna watch this? Okay, so I see some hands coming up, and like, it's not unusual. I don't know one woman that is like, yes, I'm pumped to like start sharing this on social media. Like, it really is a big hesitation for a lot of people, but it's also a really important part of the job because that's how people know what you're doing and what you're inviting them to. When I first started, I had no Instagram account. I didn't know how to do anything. Like, I thought, how is this possibly going to work? My first post had nothing to do with Beachbody. I think I had went grocery shopping and like I posted about stuff that I got on sale. But, I learned from there, and I started with like one follower, which was my coach. And I learned from there, and bit by bit, I got more comfortable on social media. The thing about social media that I think a lot of people are worried about is like, I don't want to come across salesy. Like, I don't want to be icky. I don't want to be sold to. And like, here's the thing. If you start selling on social media, if you're icky, that's how it's going to come across, and it's not going to work. So like, take that pressure off you. Like, there's no selling. There's no ick factor. It's all about just sharing your journey. It's all about like sharing where you're at, where you started with these programs, or where you're starting right now, and what they've done for you, and like really just documenting what you're doing every day. If you're going the sales route, it's not going to work anyways. So from like a technical standpoint, like, let's say tomorrow you woke up and decided, okay, I'm going to start sharing a little bit every day on social media. Like, what could you do? There are some sort of simple things that you could start with if you're nervous about doing this. The first would be like something around your workout. It doesn't need to be a full-blown workout video that's sped up and has music and copy and like all of this great stuff. Like, nobody starts doing all of that. It can literally be a picture of your shoes, or a picture of your weights, or a picture of your workout clothes that you set out the night before. Like, that's as simple as you can start. You can share a little bit about what changes you felt in this process. And that doesn't even need to be a video. It can be a picture of yourself with like some little blurb in the corner about how you felt today versus how you felt, I don't know, yesterday or a week ago or a year ago. It can be a picture of what you're eating for breakfast. One thing that I did that worked really well is I one day picked, it was a weekend day, and I shared everything I ate throughout the day. Because I think a lot of people right now are struggling with nutrition, and they're like, what are you eating? How are you eating this? And it almost comes like more naturally to share our workouts, and it takes a little bit more effort sometimes to share our nutrition because it like happens, 6 or 7 times a day, and like you can't share all of that. But if you pick that as something to do like once a week, that could work. You can also share like non-Beachbody related stuff. Like, it's not like you're going to wake up tomorrow or in January and all of a sudden you're like this crazy fitness expert and like all you're showing is your workouts and your food, because maybe up until this point you've shared stuff about your kids or your holidays or your family or how you're doing through COVID. So like, keep sharing that stuff. That's what people are interested in too. Like, share shopping for Christmas presents. Elf on the Shelf is huge right now. I'm seeing everybody posting like hilarious Elf on the Shelf stuff or asking for recommendations. Like, all of these kinds of things are things that you can start doing right now. But I would also start taking like, the next few weeks, if you're uncomfortable with Instagram, now's the time to learn it. Like, have a look at how to post a story. How do you use the stickers? How do you put text on something? Like, where do you pick music to do it? And honestly, do it now while nobody's watching. Like, when I started, I made a gazillion mistakes, but I only had like 5 people on my Instagram account. So it was fine. And at the end of the day, if you do something that, you really don't love, like, you can just delete it from there. But if you're not comfortable with Instagram, like, now's the time to start getting used to it, so that in January or February or whenever next year, when you're ready to go, you're a lot more comfortable with it. Honestly, for me, learning social media was really fun. So keep that in mind. Like, it's not supposed to be this big, heavy, like, arduous task. It's supposed to be fun and exciting, and you'll learn something new. You're going to go outside of your comfort zone, but that's how you're going to start sharing with people. So I'm going to pass it over to Jen to talk about personal development.
Thanks, Milan. So I'm going to piggyback off of that, because I feel like almost like the two biggest fears that people have are the social media and the judgment from their friends and family. And they kind of go hand in hand. So again, raise a hands or drop it in the chat if you're nervous about being judged by putting yourself out there and possibly having people. Yeah. Okay. So I was in the exact same place for sure. When I got started as a coach, again, all of us will probably tell you we didn't want to touch this opportunity with a 10-foot pole in the beginning because we were scared. We didn't know what it entailed and all of the things that come with it. And so for me, it started with me really falling in love with these programs because of how they transformed my life. And I couldn't deny it. I couldn't deny the fact that I felt fantastic. And I wanted to share that with other moms and other women. And I was really optimistic about how I could help them. But the barrier of being afraid of judgment of others was something that really slowed me down. It's like I was really excited in the beginning, and then I was just like, what if they judge me? And so one of our vital behaviors as coaches is to do personal development, which is you becoming better and stronger on the inside. Court talked about the importance of you following your health journey, but health also is up here too. And that's a big part of this journey as well. So for me, I found a lot of confidence when I started listening to personal development. I started listening to some books that really resonated with me and made me feel empowered and energized and gave me the confidence to go after this thing that I loved so much, regardless of maybe the criticisms that I was hearing or thinking that I was hearing in my head, right? And so that's such an important part of it, and how I've grown as a woman over the last 2.5 years is just absolutely incredible because of this opportunity and because of diving into personal development. So some ways to get started. Personal development takes two things. It really takes authenticity and action. So it's one thing to listen to, Girl Wash Your Face or You Are a Badass or some of these books. And yeah, it's okay. But if it doesn't speak to you, if it's not something that resonates with you, it's not going to make a difference. And to follow that, if you don't take action on some of the advice and the stuff that's in the personal development, then that's also not going to really change you too much. So getting really real about what are some of the things that are holding you back. For me, I suffered for a really long time of like low self-esteem and negative self-talk. And I had to get really honest with myself about how was I speaking to myself and what were some of the things that were holding me back. And then I literally would just Google, what are good personal development books about negative self-talk or about low self-esteem? And there are thousands. I'm a busy mom. I'm a full-time teacher and mom of 2 young kids. I don't have time to sit down and read a book, you guys. And I'm sure many of you can relate. I rely on podcasts and Audible. Audible books have become like my jam. So if I'm driving, if I'm grocery shopping, any of those things, you bet I've got my headphones in and I'm listening to a book of some sort. So what I love about our training is that we do dive into some of the more specifics and suggestions and things about some different podcasts and books that we've really enjoyed that have really resonated with us. And so you being open and willing to give it a shot is just the most important thing. But I promise you, how it will help you really blossom from the inside out is can have a massive, massive positive impact on your business when you do this. So that's what I have to share. I think I'm going to toss it over to Erin now.
Hey guys, my name is Erin Yakubuski. I am Courtney's sister, but I've been coaching with Courtney now probably about almost 2.5 years. It's really flown by. At the beginning, before coaching, I really didn't have time for this. I'm a full-time manager. I work for the Federal Public Service. I have 2 young kids who are both in rink sports. So like we're at the rink often. I had no time, like very busy life, like that crazy mom that's like always go, 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 not a second to breathe, let alone anything for herself. But I ended up starting doing these programs with my sisters and my mom. And when Courtney started coaching, like I couldn't deny, I felt drawn to it. Like I couldn't ignore it. I tried so hard to pretend that I didn't want to do it because I really felt above it. I felt like my professional career should have been enough. But I just couldn't deny this like whisper on my heart that I'm curious about this. So what I ultimately did is I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I really want to do it well. I want to do it in a way that's like respectful and professional. And if I'm putting myself out there and at risk for like all of my bosses and peers at work to see me, I want it to be in a way that I'm proud of. So in order to do that, I needed to find some time in my day to make this happen. And ultimately, I don't think I'm like necessarily great at time management. I think ultimately I'm just like, I decided to do it and I decided to be disciplined about it. So what I did is I did a time audit. I took like a piece of paper and I wrote down every single hour from the moment I woke up until the moment I went to bed. So if I woke up at 5 and I went to bed at 10, I wrote all of the hours of the day down. And then I did like an honest evaluation of how I was spending my time, what I was doing between 5 and 6, 6 and 7, 7 and 8, 7, 8 and 9, 9 and 10, all the way through. And what I really honestly found was that, yeah, I'm busy and I have a lot of things in my life, a lot on my plate, but there was time that I was like wasting. Um, so I knew that I wanted to do this business. And if I was going to figure out how to do it, I wanted to find time to do it. So ultimately, I decided to commit to working this business on my lunch hour from 12 to 1, and then from 8 to 10 once my kids went to bed at night. That was 3 hours a day I could dedicate to doing this business. So in those 3 hours, I decided to start time blocking, and I got super efficient and effective with the activities that I was doing during that time. So the coach activities that I would be doing, I would set a timer for 20 minutes, 3 times during that hour at lunch, and do 3 activities during 20 minutes so that I was super effective and focused for 20 minutes at a time, 3 different activities. And what I really found, guys, is that a little bit of time every single day consistently adds up to a hell of a lot. You can help a lot of people in 20-minute increments. But I stuck to it. I stuck to it like that hour over my lunch hour was my office hour in my business. And I stuck to it like I would commit to my work hours at work because this was a job that I was committed to. What's the coolest thing about doing this job is that you're ultimately an entrepreneur. You are building a business as your own CEO, as an entrepreneur of your own business, your own brand, and you are working for you. The coolest thing about this is that the harder you work, the more reward you see personally in building a business for yourself, not working for somebody else, not working for like time off or somebody else's bottom line, right? How hard you work ultimately equals how much money you make. And the beauty about this business is that there's no cap. So you can make, depending on what your goals are in this business, you can make a couple hundred, $500 a week, extra a week, or you can make thousands of dollars a week, depending on how serious you'd like to take this business. And for me, as somebody who's a manager and makes the exact same amount every single week, I liked that. I liked that I could work harder and be rewarded more for it. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight in terms of time management, auditing your time, time blocking, because those I find have been the like epitome of my success. I'm going to pass it over to Sarah now.
Hey guys, my name is Sarah. To be honest, when I was first invited to the coaching opportunity, it was a hard no for me. I had a massive list of reasons as to why this is something I couldn't do, didn't want to do, shouldn't do. But long story short, for me, I started coaching for accountability in my own journey. I was at the very beginning of doing workouts. I was about 6 weeks in, and I was starting to feel these positive changes, and I wanted it to be something that was long term. And I knew the only way I was going to do that is if I had that extra accountability. So this was just over a year ago for me. And honestly, this last year has far surpassed my expectations. It has been completely life-changing. And I truly do think that this is the time of year that is perfect for you to start your business. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about why right now is the time that you should really step into that coaching role and you should kickstart your very own business. The first reason, super obvious, January is right around the corner. This is the time of year where everybody wants to make these new healthy changes. Everybody wants to make these New Year's resolutions. So by you showing up now, even though we're already in December, by you sharing what you're doing, talking to your friends and your family members, inviting some people to maybe do a program with you, when they're ready to join either now, January, February, or March, whenever it is, you are the person that they already know, like, and trust. They see that you're loving this, they see that you're having success with this, and they're going to turn to you for help when you invite them or when they're ready to get started with their own journey. So showing up now, you really are showing up to the people who are going to join you in the new year. The second reason, people are struggling right now for so many different reasons, right? COVID has stuck around a lot longer than at least I ever expected. And people are struggling mentally, people are struggling emotionally, people are staying at home. Maybe they're eating out of boredom, people are out of routine. For so many different reasons, people just aren't in a great place. And I truly believe that our community and our programs that we have can be that solution for these people. Like, we have the opportunity to be a light for people in these uncertain times. So honestly, finding those people in your life that you feel like could really benefit from that sense of community, right? So many people are missing seeing friends, seeing family, having these big Christmas gatherings. And what's really special about these communities, and especially when you hop into the coaching role, is being able to have these people around you, even though they're not physically in the same room as you. The next reason why this is such a perfect time is we're right in the middle of a program launch, like Courtney said. 9-week Control Freak just came out for coaches and VIP members. It is available for clients to upgrade to on December 21st, and our entire community is doing it together in January. Yes, the program's going to be amazing. Yes, the trainer is amazing. But what is really special about program launches is the fact that we all do it together. There is something just extra motivating about the fact that you have a big group of women all doing the same program, all pushing play on the exact same thing. So having this program launch truly is an opportunity to really kickstart your business and build that momentum as you go into the new year. If I think about my own personal journey, if I think about my clients who have had great transformations, if I think about times in my business over the last 12 months or so that I've had good success, they've all been program launches. So really, this is a gift to all of us coaches, whether you're brand new or you've been doing this for years. I wanted to give you guys some quick little action steps that you could take so you could get started tonight with this. Start thinking about people who you would want to do the program with. Write a list of people that you want to do Control Freak with in January. And then find at least 3 of them. Find 3 of them, 5 of them, 10 of them, whatever it is, to do this program with you. You don't need to be a pro at this. You don't need to pretend like you know everything about this program and you have all your stuff figured out. You're just inviting them to do it with you. And then the last thing is reach out to the person who invited you to this call. Ask them what their community is doing. When are they starting this group? How is this group going to work? How can you get plugged in if you're not plugged in already? And how can your 3 people get plugged in with you as well? So I know for me, like back in the fall of 2019, this was a terrifying decision for me. But honestly, easily one of the best decisions I've ever made in my entire life. My own personal journey, I've had far more success than I even thought was possible. And I know for a fact, 110%, it's because I'm a coach. There have been so many days, just like Courtney said, that I've shown up because I know people are looking for me. People are depending on me. And if it was just me doing this by myself, alone in my basement without a community, I wouldn't have done it. And the people in my life who have also hopped on board, the people who, like my friends, my family, my colleagues, all of these people who have decided to make their health more of a priority just because I was brave enough to share what I was doing and invited them to join me, is something that's pretty special. And it's pretty rewarding when you get a message from these people and they're thanking you for giving them that nudge, for encouraging them to get started, because they've had these massive positive impacts in their life as well. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you is something that I really didn't expect out of this business, and it's the financial opportunity. I came into this with no real expectation to make any income. I assumed people who did had some kind of upper hand. I don't know. Like I was happy if I was going to make enough money to pay for my products. But over the last year, just by focusing on me, inviting people to do this with me, and slowly growing my business, it's relieved a lot of financial stress from my family. And it has really allowed us to, me and my husband, to dream of a future that otherwise maybe wouldn't be possible for a family if coaching never would have found me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And on that note, I will pass it off to you, Court.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I think that dreaming bigger seems to be a common theme for a lot of coaches that are maybe 6 months in, or, some a little bit earlier, but really once you decide to start coaching, it doesn't mean that you're going to feel this way. It doesn't mean you're going to feel confident and see a vision and feel like this is for you right away. I remember when I first joined, one of my coaches, Jamie, asked me, he said, "Are you a walker, a jogger, or a runner in this business?" And I was like, oh, I'm like, well, I don't want to say walker. That would be lame, but I'm definitely not saying runner because that feels like a lot of pressure, So I said jogger. And so commonly I hear when new coaches start, they're like, just gonna see how it goes. Just gonna see how it goes. So not like, we'll just see. And that's okay. That's okay. That's how everybody starts. See how it goes. Even Erin, I think she's like lost touch with reality a bit. You didn't start doing this 3 hours a day. I think if you can put aside an hour a day to do this business, that's incredible. And you see how it goes. You dive into the program, you invite a couple women to join you, and you start to evolve on the inside. And the business, the momentum of that starts to create a business. As your business starts to build, you start to see that vision and you start to dream a little bit bigger. And then it's kind of cool because sometimes when I write down like my main goal in my journal in the morning, which is so freaking fluffy, I can't believe that I actually do that. I'm starting to realize like those probably aren't even big enough dreams right now. So if you're thinking like, I'm nowhere near being ready to do any of this, like you can be a walker or a jogger, all right? And even if you know in your head and your heart that you'd love to be a runner, it's okay to just start and see how it goes. Like Sarah said, right now is an amazing time to start this because of Control Freak. We have a really great crew of women that are just brand new, getting going, that we can pop you right into. Connect with your coach and see how it goes. We have a beautiful training program that can meet you where you're at. Some people end up doing this just as a hobby coach, and really, like, Mila said, get their products paid for, or Sarah said that. And some people are like, no, I want to do it. And then we can give you more and more and more and more. This training and this business can really be done at your pace. So, I'll leave you with just one thing. Sometimes when we're faced with an opportunity that's so outside the box and scary, it's really easy to think about all the reasons that we don't think we'd be good at this and why this isn't for me. I want you to take some time tonight and maybe think about 1 or 2 things, even why you think you could be good at this, why you think you would be a great coach, and what you think this could impact your life in, or how this could impact your life in a beautiful way. And with that, that's it, guys. There are some more detailed questions that you might have, like how much does it cost and those types of things. But if you connect with your coach, I'm sure she would be happy to go over those logistics with you. And that's it. That's all for tonight. So I hope you guys have a great night.